is brought to you by Society Art Villeray. This exclusive gallery features local and international artists showcasing their extraordinary artistic talents. This fine gallery may also serve as a venue for your special events. You can find them on Instagram and online at societyart.ca. Thank you, Society Art Villeray. And now we return you to your podcast.
Hello to all our followers. It's Let's Talk It Out. And I bet you guys are confused because you're saying, well, where is Lisa and her guests? Where are they? Where are they? Well, Vanny's in the background like usual, but that's not important. What's important here is that our studio has actually changed. And we are at a beautiful, beautiful studio. It is called the Art Society Villeray.
Yeah,
Studio.
don't think we're actually making money. This is
no.
We've upgraded our studios. No, we didn't. We're
Yes,
talking.
we did.
We're talking like we've upgraded our studios.
We did, Danny.
We didn't invest a dime. Our friend said, "Hey, why don't you come to this beautiful art studio?" And we said, "Yes, please, Daddy."
Yes, please. And who better to invite us would be Emil Vidmar. Thank you so much, Em, for this beautiful, beautiful studio, this beautiful opportunity, this beautiful background, this beautiful ambiance. Everything is just beautiful.
So just to give you like a breakdown,
Yes.
Where we used to film before was his workshop where he works from.
Yep.
And this is, he's the successful one because
Yes.
he was able to open up a beautiful art gallery.
Absolutely.
And you can come and buy things. You can actually host events here, which is
Yes.
really cool. You can have a cocktail, a 5 à 7, a birthday party for your loved ones.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. The set looks phenomenal, I think.
It's gorgeous. The
yeah.
artwork
Really
is
is.
amazing.
Yeah, it is,
Beautiful.
it is.
And I think everybody should come by at least to see it and visit and just explore because the artistic you might be drawn out.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow, it's a new season. It's a new
metaphoric.
season of Let's Talk It Out, and she's on fire.
Let's symbolize. Symbolize? Yes. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Awesome.
All that matters is that we're here, we're back. I have an amazing guest on this evening, but we won't reveal who he is just yet, although I know a lot of people probably know who you are already, but we won't say it yet. It's the grand opening.
Yeah.
However, thank you, Em, once again for this amazing studio, and we'd also like to thank our sponsors. Now, I always say this, but it's true. Without our sponsors, we would be very, very unhappy. Like we would be happy because we're still doing our podcast, but we would be unhappy because you're not there to share it with us. And that's what our sponsors do. So thank you so much. And our first sponsor, as usual, he's so awesome, Mr. Van Kropsel from Remax Alliance. Van, you're the man. That's my motto. He does residential commercial. He is amazing, creates rapport with all his clients. He gets you the best deal, and he is definitely your go-to if you ever want information on a home. You can reach him at 438-402-9471, VANC at remax-quebec.com or vankropsel.com. Thank you so much, Van. Second sponsor, this one's yummy, okay? Not just in name, but actually the food. It's Gusto Pizzeria. Thank you so much, Ross Padula.
Yes.
You are awesome,
Yes.
awesome. They are located at 5152 Rue Jarry East in St. Leo, 514-326-5184. If you ever want to have an event or just eat a pizza.
Or actually, if we noticed, so many famous people go and eat there.
Yes, you're right, Vanny.
Just the other day, I wanted to go there. I figured
You weren't famous though.
I know. No, the Esteriore brothers.
Yeah.
They came from Italy. They did a hell of a show here, and they went to eat and had a full night. They had their guitars out in the restaurant.
That's awesome.
Like they were singing in the restaurant. I'm so angry that I missed it because it would have been so much. Imagine.
But you're not a celebrity.
No, they are the celebrities.
Exactly.
I wanted to
so you have
see them.
You can't be there.
How wrong can you go by having a great meal and seeing the Esteriore brothers singing and dancing and playing the guitar? It was really cool. Anyway,
It's
thanks,
amazing.
Ross. Thanks, Ross.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Gusto Pizzeria. Thank you, Van. Thank you, everybody. And now we begin our podcast. I'm very happy because I think this topic, this episode will touch on a lot of important things, a lot of important information, as well as how you have evolved from certain points in your life to where you are now. So I have the pleasure to introduce health coach,
That's right.
Mr. John Perrotta.
Welcome, John.
Welcome.
Such a pleasure being here, first of all.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
coming.
much, both of you. This is an honor, and thank you everyone for being here and part of this community.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Well, I'm
Happy
glad
to be here.
have you. Good. I'm so
Let's
happy.
get started. This is awesome.
So I know you touch on many, many important topics, and maybe you can introduce a little bit about yourself, speak about yourself, so that it can lead us into the topic that we really want to get really nitty gritty on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So take it away, John.
Well, like we were talking about before, I tapped into a little bit about who I am. First of all, I am John from Montreal, born and raised here. And previously, before I went into the coaching industry, I was John from Dopocena. We were running a dessert shop for about 28 years.
Wow.
So that was pretty much my journey, my profession, and you could say my love as well, because we started Dopocena back in 1994.
Wow.
And throughout the years, we just simply developed great clientele, beautiful clientele,
Yeah.
great community, great desserts, of course. And so we were well known for this. And about 4.5 years ago is where really things started shifting for me.
Okay.
Health-wise, I was at the heaviest I ever was, physically. And so I was still running the shop at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't think I could go any further. Like, I was at the point really overweight. And being in the industry where it's very physical, very stressful, very demanding, I just felt that it was time for a change, a major change. I don't know how, though. I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to, because honestly, it was one specific moment, something happened, and I was like, wow, if I don't take these steps now, there's a good chance, who knows what will happen to me physically, in the next few months.
Yeah.
And so just to say that was a life-changing moment. It was on the day of my daughter's birthday, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so she was turning 16 at the time.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
And that day was very emotional. And the way I was also feeling physically, it just dawned on me. I said, will I be here next year
Okay.
to see my daughter's birthday? And that really hit home. And so just to say, that was my life-changing moment. And from that point on, I started making changes. I was still running the shop, but then a series of events started happening in my life, personal life and business. And just, let's just say that life brought me here.
Oh, nice.
Because that's a whole story on its own.
Yeah.
And so as I started taking my steps and I started to make some changes, losing some weight, it took time. It really took time because I was easily 60, 70 pounds overweight.
Wow.
And so it got to the point where life got heavy. I got heavy, obviously. And by taking these steps, I was able to be where I am today. And this is what I'm doing now. Life brought me here because I would never have thought, like honestly, if you go back 4.5 years ago, that I'd be out of the pastry industry.
Yeah.
Something that I built, something that I loved, and something that we built together as a community, that I had to say goodbye to it.
Oh, wow.
It was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my life.
Oh wow! So you actually said goodbye, and you don't do any more
That's right.
pastries?
Wow.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
And like I said, that's a whole story. Hopefully one day I could share it.
That's very brave.
Because it's very heavy also for me to share a lot of the details that took place and how life actually brought me here.
Okay.
But just to say, very blessed, very grateful. And so what happened was, I was at a point where I was like, okay, there's a reason why life wants me here in this new industry, being the coaching industry.
Yeah.
And I started connecting the dots of my journey from the past 4.5 years, and I was like, okay, if there's anything I could do now, is to help people who are struggling the way I was struggling.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because I suffered for about 38 years of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, being overweight, obese, losing weight at times, but going through the yo-yo effects and the cycles and the frustrations and the, all the things that come with it.
Okay.
And so here I am today. I made this decision to help people who are struggling with this because we're not getting younger. This is the reality. There's a lot of realities that we kind of put aside as we're, when we're younger. Then, we get in our 30s and 40s where we still have time. We still have time to make change and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the years go by so quickly.
Yeah.
And we get to a point where we said, oh my gosh, look at me. I mean, look at me. Here I am. I can't even go for a long walk.
Yeah.
Because, I'm out of breath or whatnot. So it's those moments there that, for me, really hit home. And this is what I help people with, is to kind of say, listen, I'm here to guide you because I could tell you through my experience that the years go by quickly and your health, if you're not making any changes right now, you're going to fall into some issues.
So what exactly is it in terms of, because I know you touch a lot and we spoke earlier on the obesity side of things. And with that comes a lot of emotion, a lot of psychological, people distort their minds as they see themselves, therefore they eat, and there's always a repercussion to that. So you just said that you dedicate yourself to helping people. What is the process? So how did you begin? And how is it that you help people? What is it that you do for them, or how do you give them advice?
Absolutely. Very good question. Well, first thing I do is, before I started helping people, I had to help myself.
Yes.
And I had to figure out what is it I could do that will be sustainable. Because a lot of times what happens is we get involved with programs, with training programs, and we do well for about 10 to 20, 30 days, and then slowly but surely we get results, and then somehow we seem to go backwards again. So one of the things, when I made my decision 4.5 years ago, I said to myself, this has to be a lifestyle for me. It cannot be where I'm going to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds and then kind of go back. I said no, because I'm going to end up gaining weight again. So one of the things I decided is that when I got involved with the coaching industry, well, first of all, what I did is I wanted to help people. And I said, the best way I can help people is to get training as well.
Yeah.
So that's where I started researching, and I started getting involved with the coaching industry. And I found a really, really top-notch coach in the industry who trains people around the world. And so what I did is I invested in myself first. So I was taking care of myself physically, and I was starting to lose the weight, and I started losing weight, but at the same time, I knew I had to transition and to evolve into learning the industry. And how is it that I can go from where I am to where I want to go, and what do I need to do? So in the courses that I'm taking, they're teaching me all this.
Oh, nice. And you're still taking the courses?
Oh, yeah, weekly. I've been religiously taking courses for the past 2 years now, and it's an ongoing journey, right? Yeah. And so this is what I do. So from the trainings that I'm getting, I'm able to approach people in a certain way, because when we're dealing with being overweight, as you mentioned before, there's so much emotions. It's such a fine line between being happy in a moment and being extremely sad, depressed and sad. And so what happens, a lot of us, and I went through this, I never drank, never smoked or did drugs, but food was my go-to. I don't recognize that consciously. I did it subconsciously, right? Yeah. And so emotional eating. And this is huge, huge. And getting back to what we were talking about, 80% of us being overweight or not being healthy is all psychology. Yeah. Whatever the connection is, right? Yep. There's some emotional attachments. And so what was happening is I started recognizing all these things. Because, here's what happened. A lot of people say to me, what did you do? What did you do? What's your secret? Did you consult doctors? Did you do medications or what? I said, no. First thing I did is I had an honest conversation with myself.
That's very important.
And they're like, what do you mean an honest conversation? I said, yeah, an honest conversation. Yep. And that was my first step. And that's when it hit home really hard. And secondly, then I made a decision. Good. And those were my steps, right? And so from there, I was able to learn, okay, so if I'm going to help someone, how am I going to get started? How? Well, they got to be honest with themselves, first of all. So if I come to someone or somebody comes to me and I say, What's your story? What are you all about? What do you want to achieve here? Oh, I just want to lose 10 pounds. Well, I'm not the right person for you.
And I understand, because you're going towards the emotion, but you're going towards the psychology as well.
That's right.
Which
Big time. Big time, because it's all about, we reach a certain age, it's no more about one day. It's now.
Yeah.
You know, you start hitting your 40s and 50s, and if you're along the line of being close to being, you know, having liver disease or some kind of liver conditions, or you're going to start having high cholesterol, and you're going to type 2 diabetes is around the corner and so forth. These are serious issues, because what's going to happen is if you don't make these changes, whether you like it or not, you're going to be part of a few things are going to happen. You could really get extremely ill. Or number 2 is really what's happening to most of us. We end up being part of the health system. And we all know what the health system is all about. And the reality is you're going to get on medications and more. And the health industry has its place for all of us. It's there to help us. Yeah. But we have to take a responsibility as well. And I think that's one of the first things that I like to coach people on, and say, listen, there's a lot of different reasons why we gain this weight. And I get it. I understand it. I've been through it. A lot of people have been through traumas. A lot of people have been through situations in life that are unbearable. And their only way out was through food, comfort. Even though consciously they're not aware of it, it's more on a subconscious level, right? And so that's my goal each and every time, is to say, okay, well, I'm dealing with someone, and I like to hear their story, first of all. Who are they? I want to get to know the person. And what kind of led them to where they are today. And then from there to slowly start making these changes through just talking as human beings, you know? And that's the start. Those are the steps that I take.
Now, if somebody is reluctant to take those steps because they feel that it won't lead to a result, or it takes too long to get to that result, how would you sort of help them change their mindset, or transition from hopeless feeling to seeing a positive in the, you know, the investment that you're doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm so happy you asked that, because that's a magical question. Because for the most part, and I'll include myself, for those 38 years, we don't trust ourselves. And I'll explain what I mean by this, is that a lot of people, we get involved with so many programs. So let's just say, for 20 years of our lives, we've done this diet, this trainer, that trainer, and they all work, they all have its place, but somehow we always found ourselves going back again. And so what happens is you lose trust within yourself. So one of the things that happens is when I'm coaching someone, or I'm just having a conversation, you hear it in their phrases and their words, and they say, oh, I've tried this, I tried that, I've done this, and you know what, I've given up on pretty much everything, and I don't see how I'm going to get out of this. The doctor's telling me I got to lose 50 pounds, but I can't. I'm having a hard time. So a lot of it has to do, they don't trust themselves anymore.
Okay.
Because I don't like using this word failed, but it's a reality. In their minds, they're feeling like a failure. And again, going back to psychology, right? And there's a few more aspects. They don't trust themselves. They're afraid. Fear is huge, because they know that, for example, let's say someone's in their 50s. You know, if you look at statistics, we say, well, 20, 30 more years, if we're lucky, right? How are we going to live those years? So this all goes through people's minds. And so what I do is, as I'm listening to them and I understand what they're going through, for me, what's important is that I find a way for them to start to trust me if they can't trust themselves.
Okay.
So I always find ways to say, listen, this is where I was. Here's where I am today. It's not easy. I understand. I really get it. 38 years is a long time to go through this. And let me show you a few steps. Let me guide you. Let me show you a few directions that I know will work and help you in the moment. And so what happens, you start gaining a little trust. So if they don't trust themselves, they'll slowly start trusting in me, but in a good way. Because my goal is to help them. And so that's where the transition starts. So as I start to help them and guide them, they start to feel a little relieved because they're like, oh my gosh, here's somebody who's actually caring, somebody who wants to help, and is showing me ways of things that I could do on a daily basis. That's easy for me to do.
Okay.
And I'm starting to get little results.
Okay.
So what's happening is we're transitioning them slowly. I mean, the transition happens within. My goal is to direct them, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But to them, they got to make the change, but through my help.
Well, that's it, because they don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do.
Right? And so they're already
And the pain is so, my gosh, it's so deep. I mean, I'm in conversations sometimes, people just start crying because of how much emotional pain they're in.
I start crying because I ate too much cake. That's why I start crying.
Yeah, but you're a toothpick.
I hear you.
Your metabolism is like faster than the Roadrunner.
Actually, worse. I start crying because I can't have another piece. That's why I start crying.
Wow.
Sorry. I just.
You know what? I should have baked the cake. I should have brought a cake.
My
here tonight.
God, we would have forgotten the podcast.
We would have forgot about
We would
that.
have said, forget that.
It would have said, never mind the red dot. But I find, like, I feel, my opinion, of course because you're studying it, I feel that a lot of it is emotional, and I think the psychology behind it sort of tugs at the emotional. For example, let's say an eating disorder, which is psychological because somebody would have a warped, or let's say a false sense, I shouldn't say warped, false sense of what they look like.
Yeah.
And they see themselves maybe different than the way they would like to be. And I think society really predisposes us through images and models and films, and this is the ideal. When you're at a certain age, even I guess maybe older people would think the same way.
Of course.
It's airbrush, it's all AI, it's all, but in here, I'm not that beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they predispose themselves to an eating disorder, bulimia or anorexia. Yeah. And then from that, you feel, I look great, but you're actually doing yourself more harm physically.
Absolutely.
Right? So then emotionally, you become so absorbed in doing these types of behaviors that you see it as right. Oh no, I'm doing well. Eventually, the health issues can also manifest themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody in that situation, based on your studying and your expertise, how can you redirect somebody, or what is a technique that you can use to sort of alleviate that false sense of self and how they look?
Yeah, that's very deep, by the way. This is a very,
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good because when we break it down and we say, well, it's not really what I need to do to lose weight. It's why am I still overweight? So this is what I call the root cause.
Yeah.
This is magic because the root cause is the main reason why you're still overweight. And that's the place that's the most difficult place to go emotionally.
Yeah.
Because you could break it down that there's a couple of categories of where this may have happened in somebody's life. It could have been genetics.
Yeah.
For example, we're born with a certain genetics, there is that possibility, but a lot of times it takes place with a certain event happening in someone's life, leading to a trauma. Just that alone. I'll give you an example. Listen, myself, I was in kindergarten and I was traumatized by the principal.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay? So just that alone, a 5-year-old being traumatized by a 6-footer does a lot of damage within. We don't recognize it in the moment as a child, but as you're growing up, you start recognizing things. So traumas. Everybody has, not everybody, but some people that are extremely overweight, or they drink, or they smoke, or they do drugs or whatnot, or they use food as a go-to. Something triggered it. Something triggered them in that root cause. Something happened to them in their lives. So aside from, a trauma, it could also be the environment that we grew up in. These are all aspects, or it could be all three. And so the way I like to address that is, first of all, you got to think of it as an onion. Onions, when you peel an onion, how many layers? There's so many layers in an onion.
Yeah.
And so that's the trick. To get to the root cause, to get to the core of that onion, you got to go layer at a time. And that's where the coaching sessions come in, because you can't just resolve something. Well, I can't say can't. There are people that are extremely good at, boom, getting to the root cause and whatnot. I believe in a slower journey, because it's so emotionally hard on people. So through just a couple of sessions, you get to know the person, and slowly but surely, the person has to gain that trust with you to be able to open up and to speak about, you know what, boom, this just popped in my mind. When I was 12 years old, this is what happened to me in the schoolyard.
Yeah.
I never spoke to anybody about this. Nobody.
Yeah.
You know, and so it just builds on that. And so for me, that's how the trust starts to get built.
Is
right?
there ever a place where, I mean, I'm going to talk for myself. I'm one of those I'm lucky.
Yes.
Because my whole family is quite short, not the tallest. And I'm not tall. No, it's true.
They can sound like Smurfs.
But when we look at pictures, like when I take a family shot, I look like a 9-foot man. Like
Okay.
just because you know they're short and everyone's heavy. Everybody except me. Like I'm the only one, and
Okay.
but I eat just as much as all of them, if not more. Like I have an appetite. And I don't want to say like. It could be trauma, and you're right. I'm lucky genetically. Like my brother is double, if not triple. I don't know. I don't know. He's a lot bigger than me, and we eat the same thing. Like we're playing tomorrow at a gig, and I'm at night. I know at 2 a.m, Madonna, we're hungry. We're going to.
You're going.
We're going.
You're going. Yeah.
And for me, it's not like I don't think it's trauma. Maybe I could peel it down and say it's trauma. I look for like my mind is only on. What am I going to eat?
That's right.
Like some people say, "Oh my God, I forgot to eat today." To me, it's what? This is
it's unheard of.
Unheard of. Like,
of course,
I'm thinking about what my next meal is, what the meal I had, how I'm going to make it better next time I have it.
Right.
Like it's my mind is always there. So is it trauma, or could it be that you just fucking love it so much?
Of course,
I enjoyed it. It's my go-to.
Think about what we just we covered different areas, right? One of them is environment. Look at our culture.
Yeah.
The Italian culture. We were born and raised
Food.
with food.
Yeah.
That's it.
True. Yeah.
So this is what I mean by environment as well. It could be a positive thing or a negative thing. I mean, bless you with your genetics.
I'm lucky. I thank the Lord.
And that's
night.
amazing. But
I do.
But here's the thing. The fact that, thank goodness, you haven't had any traumas. But imagine if...
Maybe I haven't. I didn't know.
Yeah, but...
Because you waited away.
Yeah, but imagine this, is that if there was something that triggers you daily to have these cravings or to have these attacks where I got to have something, or just before bed, people eat like at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night before they're going to bed. I mean, that's insane.
Why, it's not normal?
No, Vanny.
Because I do it.
We've already confirmed you're not normal.
Every night.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We're talking really people who are overweight.
Yeah, gotcha.
This is their habits. This is the patterns. This is what goes on, right?
Yeah.
And again, look, my uncle, he's 71 years of age. He's like you. He's like this. He could eat like, forget
Forever,
it,
yeah.
right? So I think some people are genetically built this way. And but I also believe that if we develop certain habits, at one point they will catch up to us. So if eating at 12 o'clock at night is something, you know, that we do often, the pizzas and the chips, and at some point, even though we maybe digest it quicker and we, you know, don't gain weight as much, but down the line, it may affect the arteries, it may affect the cholesterol, it may affect the kidneys, it may affect something.
It's true.
Even though it doesn't necessarily mean, because there are people that are overweight. Look, I was overweight, and when I would go for blood tests, well, you're fine.
Yeah.
You know, but I was also younger back then, in my
Yes.
30s. But there are people that are very skinny, but they have so many different illnesses as well. So it doesn't mean just because you're
100%.
overweight.
Yeah.
So I think environment is key as well. Because for me, like I said, like I grew up in a household. My grandmother was a chef.
Wow, amazing. Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Imagine that. Wow.
So I was born in, it's like pots
In
and
food.
pans.
You
or
were born
whatever,
in
It's
food.
like, yeah, And so my mom was running a hotel, you could say, because my dad used to work the night shifts. My uncles were living in the same household, and everybody had like different shifts. So my mom was cooking throughout the whole day, 24 hours a day practically.
Oh my God, that's
So food was everywhere you go is food, and I remember
What's the address?
I was going to say, that's like his citadel coming home and it's like food.
But it's the reality, right? So the majority of us Italians or other cultures as well, food is part of everything.
Yeah.
Look, you go to your grandmothers or your grandparents. First thing, mangia,
Yeah, of
mangia.
course.
But I eat. No, you have to eat. As much as we don't think about this, but that starts to develop patterns and habits.
You're right.
That starts to develop in your subconscious.
I do that.
And so as we get older, right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
You'll have the cookie. It's a cookie. It's a this. It's a that. But everybody, it's different for everyone. But I find it affects more when we've been through something,
Yes.
For sure.
because it's kind of like another trigger. It's not just your habits or your environment. Now it's like something happened to you. Something happened to you at one point.
It's like you come home from school and you have to have that snack.
Yeah.
Routine.
Yes.
It's like a habit.
It becomes a
really,
habit, yes.
it's a habit.
Yeah.
So it's like a smoking or
Yeah.
having that one glass of wine or 6.
Of course.
In a meal, you know.
Well, think about
By the end of this,
the
this,
bottle's finished.
he's gonna finish the podcast. If you need to talk to somebody,
Yeah, we gotta.
we gotta talk.
But
you know,
yeah, you're so right. You mentioned smoking, drinking. Why do the majority of people do that? Yes, we grew up in some households where, unfortunately, somebody was an alcoholic. Subconsciously, you pick that up.
yeah.
And I'm not saying you're going to become an alcoholic, but you're introduced to that. You're part of that environment. It's a fine line sometimes. And so I remember, it's like even growing up, bevo vino, have the wine, drink the wine. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah. Because it was probably forced and you
Yeah,
sort of
whatever,
didn't
right?
want, you weren't
So
ready.
these are all things, and as we get older, then it becomes even like in our generation, it was cool to drink, it was cool to smoke, it was cool to try a bit of this and try a bit of that, right? And so those are habits that start developing, but at the same time, it's more than that. There's the physical part where now it starts to go into your bloodstream. And you know what?
Yeah.
At some point, right? It's like, oh, I think I'm addicted to this.
Wow.
It's a fact of life, right? And so
So your job, not job, but I mean, what you do is you kind of peel down the layers, like you were saying.
yes, absolutely.
Try to find the core and find steps on how they can.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's weight loss, but it's more of mental health.
It's a journey.
It's a journey
It's
of
a
mental
journey.
health along with weight loss. Like you're gonna get the desired weight loss,
Yeah.
and at the same time, you're gonna clean up. You're gonna filter out all the bad
Absolutely.
shit that you've
You have
had,
to.
which is commendable.
You have to, because if you don't, you're gonna spend the rest of your lives.
Yeah.
Not like everyone, but people who are. You're gonna spend the rest of your lives being overweight. That's the
why
journey I was on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing these back and forths. I could have been a gymnast, Just
But do you think that's why people spiral? Because they don't take care of the psychology or the psychological mental health aspect?
there's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I also find that, and again, this is a topic on its own. But if you look at the food industry, you look at the food industry and the medical industry, the weight loss industry as well.
Yeah.
They all work together. And this
magic
is not a
pill.
this is not a
magic pill.
conspiracy in any way. I mean, if you really think about it, you go into a supermarket, you go buy food. The majority of everything you see in the middle aisles are all things that are packaged. It's all processed foods.
Yeah.
Not all, but a good chunk of it. And so not to say, oh, it's the food industry's fault. Yes, at the end of the day, we got to take responsibility. And so that's part of
course,
my job as well, to say, listen, I get it. All these factors came into place. We've been eating trans fats for so long. We don't even know what trans fats are.
Yeah.
We've been drinking soft drinks all our lives, and here we are, like sugar addiction, oh but, it's like,
Yeah.
like they say, sugar is more addicted than cocaine,
Yeah.
addictive than cocaine and so forth. So all of these factors play a big part. I mean, I know friends of mine, they're still drinking you know, the heavy, they have their beers, they have their 7-Ups and their Cokes, their ginger ales, and it's like, but they got bellies down to here.
Yeah.
And these guys were athletes. These are my buddies. And I was like, whoa, you know, it's like, so it's really a transition, and it's really recognizing many different aspects in society as well.
It's also like a habit that, you know, because as we get older, you don't realize that your metabolism is slowing down, but it is.
It does.
So if I used to eat 2 Big Macs when I was 30 and it didn't affect me,
Yeah.
when you're 40, well, now it might. You don't realize it, but your metabolism slowed down like everything else. Your heart
Absolutely.
is not pumping
No.
like it did 20 years ago because it's fucking tired. It's
Yeah,
like, bro,
it's true.
right?
It's
so,
true.
So when you hit that golden age, the 40, 50, then all of a sudden, for me, I have a pot now.
Okay.
And I never, ever came close to having it. My nickname was Skinny Mini Miller.
Wow, cool
And,
name, man.
and now, I swear to God, my dad he still says it, but then he stops it. No, look at that pot. Now you got to get rid of that. But,
Scrap that.
But just to say, I didn't change anything.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I did. I sound like the biggest pig, but I eat a lot. I do like to eat, but
Yeah.
I did things to combat it in my younger years because I knew, you know, I work as a mailman to burn calories.
There you go.
I don't like the gym, but I'm gonna walk 25 kilometers every day.
Of course.
And I force myself to do it.
That's amazing.
And I like to stay in shape. Like I like to play sports, or I used to anyway. More sports. And my lunch, you know, I used to bring 4 paninis.
Oh my
when I went
gosh.
in high school, I
Good old
literally.
days.
That's part of the Italian.
That was my lunch. 4 panini was my lunch.
Oh my
now,
God.
now I have a little sandwich. Yes, I overdo it at supper. I do. At dinner,
Yeah.
I do definitely overdo it because I just walked 25 kilometers.
Uh-huh.
But lunch is like a pear, an apple, and a little sandwich sometimes, or
That's it.
You know, fruits, vegetables, and I force myself to stop eating unhealthy. And
But you see, that's what's interesting here is that if you're just listening to you, right, you're conscious about what you're telling me.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
conscious about, hey,
Absolutely.
you know what? I recognize this, I recognize that,
Yeah.
and I need to make this change. For the most part, we are, every day we're working on just our subconscious. That's where all the habits, the bad patterns, see, this is what it is. Getting them out of the subconscious and slowly going into conscious thinking.
Yeah.
And to say, well, hold on a second. Before I buy this product here, let me read what's in it.
I do that. I do
Yeah,
that.
that's
I
awesome.
read ingredients. It takes me longer to shop now, but I read the ingredients.
Well, that's
Yeah.
one of the first things I started teaching in my programs. And I said, listen, aside from everything else that we're going to dig into, it starts with being more conscious, taking responsibilities. What are you buying? What are you, and then we go, part of my program is this. We say, okay, today I'm coming into your kitchen. Like virtually,
Oh,
we're coming
nice.
into your kitchen. Let's go into your pantry. What do you got in there? Okay, that, what do you think? And I make them make the decision.
Yeah.
Okay, read, what's that? Because now you're taking responsibility.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of clients or people that I'm coaching are saying to me, John, you know what? I can't believe it. Now I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at all the
Yeah.
ingredients. Well, yeah, we should, because all the trans fats that are being genetically remodified, and it's insane what's happening out there in the food industry.
Can I test you?
For?
I just want to test you on something. No, you know why? Because it's very good.
Yeah.
And it's very conscious. But let's say you get someone like me as your client, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell, because my process is a little different, conscious, but a little I don't read. Like, I'll give you an example. I love cold cuts. Love. I know it's bad.
Yeah.
If I know I'm never going to have it, or I'm going to feel I'm going to fail because I love it so much. So I don't want to read what's behind because I don't want to be negative. Like, I don't want to change my mindset that, oh my God, this piece, I want to enjoy that
Yeah,
piece
of course.
because but my consciousness doesn't come from reading it. It comes from, I had it once this week. That's it. The second time I won't have it.
That's right.
And that's where, so instead of reading the label,
Yep.
I'm going to just say I'm buying salami this week because I haven't had it in a month.
while, yeah.
And then once I have it, my work, instead of reading again and feeling guilty, is I'm not having it again for a while,
Yeah,
And
willpower.
then I'll,
But that's conscious thinking.
so I buy 2 pounds of mozzarella. No, I'm kidding.
And then he just eats it on one meal sitting.
But you're recognizing
I'm recognizing
your
a
habits
way,
or
yeah.
what, and so you're adjusting along the way. Look, I tell I tell a lot of people. I say, listen, they look at me and they say, my God, John, you come from the dessert business, dopo cena. How could it be? Tell me, you're not having any desserts? I said, whoa, hold on a second. I don't say you got to literally like go cold turkey here.
Yeah.
It's what's important is what we do. It's kind of like going to a gym, right?
Yeah.
You haven't seen somebody in like 8 months. All of a sudden you say, wow, what happened to you? You know, you look amazing. Well, it's all the 8 months of the little things that we've done. We've been consistent. We've been doing the work. We've been going to the gym, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same thing with treating yourself. I say, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself with a good dessert.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So if you're going to have a dessert, all right,
make it count.
make it count,
Get
but
that
at the same
big
time,
block of cheesecake and nail it.
yeah, but make sure it's made with real ingredients.
Yeah, it's true.
90% of the stuff we're eating is artificial.
Yeah, it's so true.
You know, and so there we go. So I say, treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. But it's the work you do. It's the
Good
work.
slogan.
Yeah, and a lot of people resonate to that now. And I say, listen, you know, if your treat day is Sunday, make it Sunday. During the week, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Clean the body, feed yourself properly. And you're talking about movement. Movement, I am big on movement. I don't mean like going to the gym. Get out and walk.
Yes.
This is one of the things that I preach.
Yeah, incredible.
You need air. Your body was meant to move.
Yeah.
And I speak to a lot of people and they're like, man, no. I say, yes. And I have a wonderful person who I was coaching last year. He hated walking. He went to Italy, okay? He was forced to walk, right? Because you know, that's how it is
That's
in
how
Italy.
it is in Italy,
You're
yeah.
He came back. He was so hyped up and he goes, John, I can't believe it. I'm enjoying it now. And he started a walk club.
Holy, that's good.
And this is like phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he lost so much weight. Mind you, there's a lot of other things that we did, but this is part of his everyday life now.
Oh, that's
Get out there and move.
fantastic. That's
So
fantastic.
again, this is something we could tap into in so many different areas, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all here to do our best to enjoy our lives and to be happy.
Yeah.
And what happens is that there's so much at us every day that food has become our vehicle to suppress our emotions.
Yeah, it's true.
And so that's what I recognized with myself. And this is what my job, my journey is to help as many people to say, listen, it's okay. It's possible. Let's take this one step at a time and let's go forwards.
My hat's off. My hat's
That's
off.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Thank you.
commend
Appreciate
you,
it.
and I support that vision that you have, and I hope a lot of people who are in that predicament take advantage of what you have to offer. I think
you.
it's very important. With that being said, now we're going on to our final part of the episode, which
Let's
is
laugh.
my game.
Let's
I
laugh.
heard about there's a game. I heard about it only when when I sat down here that there's going to be a game.
Yes,
so-
there is.
It has
my
to be
God.
off. Yeah, we can't make people think about it.
That's it.
Okay. Wow. All
I'll
right.
give you an example. It's basically what we call rapid response. So I'm gonna
Rapid response. Oh
I'm
boy.
gonna ask a
Can I
question.
have a bit of scotch?
ask.
Is it okay if I take a sip?
I finished it. Oops.
That I believe.
I'll give you an example. I'm going to ask Lisa a question.
Okay.
And or it's a name 3 things, blah blah blah, and then she, the first 3 things that come to mind as quick
Sure.
as she can.
Normally it takes a while.
Yeah. But since she wrote the
I
questions,
wrote the questions, and sometimes it does take a while, right? Because I write them like, how did I come up with this?
Okay.
so John, look at Lisa do it, and she is going to name 3 things you take from a hotel.
I take the little soaps, I take the little shampoos, and sometimes I'll take a towel.
Which is
depending on the size.
you take the towel?
Sometimes.
You're
It
a
depends on
thief.
the size.
She said sometimes.
It says sometimes. It's
You're
not
a
all the
thief.
time.
You're-
It depends.
Anyone watching this, if she stayed at your hotel, I would go look into it and see if you're missing any towels.
That's a good one. Okay, I get it.
All right, so
I'll do
John,
my best.
No,
here's-
it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Name 3 things non-perverted.
Okay, he's making it up. He's making it up.
Lisa, what'd you write there?
Name 3 things you do when you are alone.
When I work alone?
When you're alone.
When you are alone.
Completely alone.
Oh, okay. I picked up drumming lately.
Sweet.
Nice.
So I'm doing a lot of drumming. I love to draw.
Oh, nice.
But scribble, I like to scribble, I like to draw,
Wow.
I like to scribble. And one thing I really do enjoy as well is food is always part of my life. I mean, being in the pastry industry. So there's a few YouTube channels that I just go to
Oh, nice.
on my downtime. And
Yeah.
there's certain chefs that I just love. And so, yeah.
Name one. Name one of those chefs.
Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre.
Chef Jean-Pierre.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Cool. See, you're great at the game. Look at that. That was fantastic.
Okay, one for me and one for Lisa. We're both.
That was going to get worse.
Lisa, name 3 animals or birds with only 3 letters. What? Name 3 animals or birds.
Okay, one would be an emu.
A what?
An emu. E-M-U.
Yeah, because she didn't write these questions.
A dog and a cat.
Oh my
Dog
God.
and a cat.
An emu is an animal. It's similar to a llama. It is.
I love the energy here. This is good. What did you guys eat today? I'm curious.
I had pasta with rapini.
There you go.
I have to say, we tried something new tonight, and smash burgers.
Oh.
But on pita bread.
Okay.
So it's crispy
It's
on
really
the outside.
smashed.
Yeah, it's really smashed. Yeah, I know. It's not the healthiest, but it's really good. With patat.
Potatoes are good.
Okay, so John, name,
Back to me now.
Yeah, name 3 things you could say to get out of a speeding ticket.
It wasn't me.
That's good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so one of the first things I'd say, hello, officer. What did I do wrong? And I'd probably say, okay, can I see the radar? But this is back in the 80s. We used to say that. I don't know today. I haven't got a speeding ticket in a long time. Let me see. 3 things. Do you like to eat?
Here's a pastry. Here's a pastry.
Here's my card.
That's the way to do
Or I could say, you know what? I see you have a few extra pounds on you there. I got you covered.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's work something out here.
That's great.
Good answer.
I think I gave you 4.
You gave me 4. Yeah, he's winning, Lisa. Lisa, name 3 things that you brush.
Hair.
Oh, let them go with the
Teeth.
hair jokes. Come on.
Yeah, hair is not allowed.
Hey, you didn't say that and I already said the
That's
answer's
true.
too
That's
late.
true. It's good.
Teeth.
Uh-huh.
And what else do you brush? Well, you can brush your body with a scrubber. Yeah. That's
Okay. You can brush
some
your
use.
body.
Okay, there's stones.
Wouldn't that be scrubbing your body and not brushing it?
Oh, well, it depends if you're hairy. Some people are Italian.
Brush. Get a skin brush.
A skin brush.
Wow, that exists?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Does.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Makes you nice and supple.
Yeah.
Oh, Maron.
Okay, we're done, right?
I'll take one more.
Oh,
John.
there's one.
You get the last one. Name 3 things you wish you owned, but you don't.
3 things I wish I owned. Like, could it be like
Anything.
fantasy, or could it be like,
Sure.
okay, an ice cream machine, but a real top of the line industrial,
nice.
industrial ice cream. I'm
That's
talking about
sweet.
Carpigiani or something like
Sweet.
over $100,000. So
I don't think that doesn't go well for the diet. I'm just saying.
There's ways around. You can make some cool stuff.
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
So I will go with a nice ice cream machine. I'm also going to go with, I love log homes. So a log home, a beautiful log home
Nice.
by the lake.
That's nice, yeah.
And the third thing, okay, let me see. I don't know why I'm going back to cooking, but I'm going to stay away from that.
Because you're Italian.
No, but I was going to say like a really high-end kitchen. Like, you know, we're talking like really state-of-the-art.
Yeah.
Like, let's go, you know. But let me see. One more thing I would say. Would it be okay to say pets?
Sure.
I love Doberman.
There you go.
2
nice.
Dobermans.
But that's a possibility.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
easily
It is,
possible.
but right environment, right?
Yeah,
a
sure.
bit of land or whatnot. But yeah, it's possible. So,
I have 2 boxers,
oh, you do.
2 males.
So I'll go with Dobermans. 2 Dobermans.
That's good. I'll go with the kitchen. The ice cream machine.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, what can I say? It's food.
It's food related.
It is.
I love to go on vacation. Every time I go on vacation, it's all about the eating experience. That's
right.
part of my vacation.
course.
People look at me and I'm like, no, because I remember once I went to Hawaii and I met my parents in Hawaii, and I get there and I'm like, okay, Mom, where are we going to eat? She's like, no, I made cutlets. I'm like, but we had cutlets last week at your house. The pasta
But it's
fagioli.
cutlets in Hawaii.
I said, I want to go visit places here that are different, so I don't have the pasta fagioli that we had 2 weeks ago.
It's so bad.
She was like, no, why would you go spend money? Because that's what I enjoy.
What I like.
Anyways, that was.
There you go.
Alrighty, so we've reached the end of our episode.
Already?
It goes fast.
Yeah,
eh?
it goes fast.
That was really fast.
So once you get going, especially with food, forget it. We
Is
can
there
talk-
something? Is there something you felt you wanted to say, but
Yeah.
you didn't get a chance to say because came quickly?
There's definitely a lot, but I'll say this. It's not easy to go from where we are to where we need to go,
Yeah,
but it's a must.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's a must. And I say that it is possible. Get involved with the right people, the right community, get the support, get the help, regardless of our age. Because one of the things I said to myself a few years ago, and it stuck with me, is that time has been my best friend, but it's no longer a luxury.
Yeah.
So I take that at heart, and I say to everybody, just simply take a step back, rethink about it, because you got to make this change. You deserve it. It's your life. It's your body.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. And where can people find you should they need
Oh my
help
gosh.
or advice?
Yeah, absolutely. John Perrotta, I'm on Facebook. I have my platform there, and the Healthy Legends community is the group that I started, and we have a lot of great people there. And what I do within the group is I give a lot of free teachings, I do a lot of lives every Thursday night. I do a live on different subjects. I do master classes every Tuesday night. And this is all open to the public, so you just simply join the Healthy Legends community through Facebook. And then, of course, I do the one-on-one coachings and whatnot.
Nice.
But so you can reach me on Facebook.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much,
My
John,
pleasure. This was great.
for coming. This was awesome.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
informative, fun.
Absolutely.
And the next time you come, we'll have other questions.
Oh my God.
Food related.
But next time you have to bring a cannoli or something. It's just. part of
I
the
know what
deal.
I'm going to bring next time.
There you
I
go.
love it.
I got it.
So thank you so much.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Stefano. Thank you, everybody, all our followers. Tune in to Let's Talk It Out and Sessions with Steph, our brother podcast, as well as our cousin podcast, Likumbadi. But always enjoying to have you listen to our amazing guests and information that could benefit you. If you have any other ideas or any other guests, please smash it on those comments, likes, and so thank you so much again.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, and Let's Talk It Out is done. See you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Appreciate it.